What if the very silence you're trying to break is the only language your twin flame can hear right now? Let that question settle for a moment. I know the quiet is deafening. It screams into your morning coffee. It echoes in the empty space on the other side of the bed. It turns every unringing phone into a personal monument to their absence. And your entire being, every cell wired for connection, is screaming one primal, understandable solution. Reach out, close the gap, do something. But what if that instinct, that beautifully human ache to fix, is the very signal jamming your frequency? Imagine for a moment that this connection isn't a simple telephone line, but a vast subterranean root system. You've been tugging on your end, feeling for a response, desperate for a sign of life. But deep foundational growth happens in the dark, in the quiet, in the places unseen. That tugging? It just stresses the roots. The silence isn't a void. It's the most fertile soil your connection will ever know. It's the universe's way of forcing both of you to stop looking at the empty space between the trees and to instead tend to the deep, personal ecosystems of your own souls. This isn't a punishment. It's a sacred, if brutally elegant, incubation period. And the most radical thing you can do, the single most powerful and counterintuitive act, is not to break the silence, but to bless it. To stop seeing yourself as stranded on one side of a canyon and start realizing you are the one being asked to become the architect of the bridge, not by straining toward the other side, but by mastering the engineering of your own foundation right where you stand. The blueprint, as it turns out, isn't out there somewhere. It's written in the quiet courage of your own heartbeat. And the first step isn't a step toward them at all. It's a step deeper into the breathtaking and often terrifying landscape of you. This space between you, this silence that screams so loudly it drowns out your own thoughts. It feels like a mistake, a cosmic error, a glitch in the universe's grand design where your other half has simply wandered off. And every fiber of your being, every ache in your heart is screaming the same solution. Do something, send the text, find the psychic, decode the song lyrics, the number plates, the way the clouds formed at 3:17 p.m., anything to feel connected, to close the gap. But what if I told you that your frantic, heartfelt, utterly human doing is the very energy that's perpetuating the distance? You see, we've been taught that love is an active force, pursuit, grand gestures, holding on, but the twin flame journey, oh, it plays by a different, more paradoxical set of rules. It operates on the level of quantum physics and soul-level contracts, not romance novels. And the first, most profound secret you must embody is what I call the sacred pause. This isn't passive waiting. Waiting is laced with anxiety, with a constant checking of the phone, the clock, the internal calendar of your despair. The sacred pause is something else entirely. It is a conscious, deliberate, and co-creative act of non-action. Think of it not as a wall between you, but as a bridge you are both building from opposite ends, in silence. Your twin, the runner, isn't on a fun vacation from your soul. They are in their own kind of hell, grappling with the terrifying mirror you represent. You are the living, breathing embodiment of every unhealed wound, every unacknowledged fear, every dormant dream they've ever buried. Your love isn't the problem. The clarity of it is, it's too bright. And right now, their spiritual eyes can't handle the light. So they run into the comfortable, familiar darkness of their old patterns. And you're chasing your longing, your beautiful, desperate energy sent after them. It's like shining a spotlight into the eyes of someone with a migraine. It doesn't feel like love to their overwhelmed system. It feels like an assault. So what is the alchemy here? It's to stop being the spotlight and become the dawn. The dawn doesn't force the night to leave. It doesn't struggle or beg. It simply, consistently is. It holds the unwavering knowing that its light is inevitable. It fills the space not with noise, but with a quiet, pervasive presence that the darkness cannot withstand. This is your work in the sacred pause. It's the deepest, most challenging inner work you will ever do. It's about retraining your entire nervous system from a state of lacking them to a state of being with yourself, so completely, so utterly, that you become a self-sustaining universe of love. Let me get practical, because spirituality without grounded application is just poetry. You're sitting there, heart aching. The impulse to reach out is a physical pain. Now, instead of fighting it or indulging it, you alchemize it. You feel that ache, that pull, and you say, "Ah, there you are. This energy wants to connect." And then, you genius, you turn it inward. You send that same intensity of love, that same focused attention, to the part of you that feels abandoned, to the little you in the 4th grade who felt left out, to the teenage you who had their heart broken. You connect the circuit inside. You become the lover and the beloved in your own skin. You stop the energy leak. You cease being a beggar with a cup outstretched, and you become a monarch, simply residing in the abundant castle of your own soul. It's like tending a garden. You can't yank on the seedlings to make them grow faster. You just tear the roots. You create the conditions, fertile soil of self-love, consistent watering of your own passions, the warm sunlight of your own joy. And then you trust. You trust the inherent intelligence of the seed, of the journey, of the divine timing that is so much wiser than our impatient human calendars. This is where the magic happens, when you are no longer a source of demanding, chaotic energy, but a pillar of calm, sovereign light. You become safe. You become a home. And a soul that is running from itself will eventually only be drawn to a place that feels like home. You are not just waiting for them, you are preparing the homecoming. And the most fascinating part? This silence, this pause, is not your sentence. It is your invitation. An invitation to a love so profound, it begins and ends with the person you see in the mirror. But what happens when this internal shift occurs? When you truly master this sacred stillness? That, beautiful soul, is when we begin to talk about the most magnetic force in the universe. The art of becoming the very frequency of reunion itself. And that is a secret so powerful, it can only be heard once the sacred pause has truly begun its work within you. You've mastered the sacred pause. You've stopped the frantic energy leak. You're sitting in your own sovereign silence, and it feels good, stable. But let's be real, a quiet question still hums under the surface. Okay, I'm whole, I'm healing, but when does he come back What if I told you that very question, that subtle orientation toward a future event, is the final, most invisible barrier? We are now moving from the alchemy of stillness to the physics of miracles. This isn't about preparing for union. This is about the radical, almost absurd spiritual practice of embodying union right now, in your messy apartment with your half-drunk coffee, while you're paying bills or stuck in traffic. I want you to imagine your connection not as a broken bridge, but as a complete, live, and humming electrical circuit. Most of the time you're acting like a battery with one terminal missing, frantically trying to send power out into the void, hoping it will somehow complete the loop and bounce back. It never does. The energy just dissipates into the ether, leaving you drained. The secret? You have to become the entire circuit within yourself. This is what it means to be an energetic beacon. It's not about sending love to them. It's about generating the experience of union, the peace, the passion, the safety, the hilarious inside jokes, the profound understanding within the four walls of your own being, until you are so saturated with it that you forget it was ever tied to a person out there. You are no longer a seeker. You become the living, breathing, walking manifestation of the thing you seek. It's the difference between staring out a window, longing for the sun, and simply turning on a lamp in the room. One keeps you in a state of perpetual hope and dependency on external conditions. The other makes you the source of the light itself. And let me tell you from a soul-level perspective, that light is irresistible. How do you do this? It's a wild, creative, and deeply personal act of imagination fused with genuine feeling. It's not manifesting a text message, it's manifesting a state of being. Let's get practical. Don't just think about them, feel them. Close your eyes, not from a place of lack, but from a place of possession. Remember the feeling of their hand in yours. Don't just remember it as a past memory. Generate the sensation in your own hand right now. Feel the warmth, the weight, the texture. It's not a memory. It's a current reality in your energy field. That inside joke that always made you laugh? Don't just smile wistfully. Let the laughter bubble up out of you now, as if you just heard them whisper it in your ear. Fill your present moment with the emotional and sensory data of union. You're not hallucinating. You're not being delusional. You are performing the most profound spiritual technology there is. You are closing the energetic circuit. You are telling the universe, through the undeniable language of felt experience, that this connection is already whole. You are broadcasting on the frequency of us, and because you and your twin flame are two halves of the same soul unit, that frequency is their native tongue. You are quite literally speaking home to them. Their soul, no matter how far their human self has run, will recognize that frequency. It's like being in a foreign country and suddenly hearing your childhood song playing on a distant radio. You stop, you turn, you are drawn. It's not a choice, it's a homing instinct. Your coherent, complete energy becomes the song their soul can't help but follow. This is where the real magic happens. You stop waiting for a miracle and start being the miracle. The longing turns into a quiet, powerful knowing. The anxiety melts into a bizarre, unshakable confidence. You start doing things for the joy of it, not as a distraction from the pain. You build a life so vibrant and full that if they were to walk in, it would simply be a delightful addition to to an already masterpiece painting, not the missing centerpiece. You become a lighthouse, not a searchlight. You stand in your own wholeness, shining steadily, not scanning the horizon for a ship. And that, my love, is precisely how the lost ships find their way home. And the most fascinating part? As you truly master this, you'll start to notice a quiet answer to that initial question. When does he come back? Beginning to form not as a date on a calendar, but as a deepening of your own peace. Because when you truly become the destination, the journey itself transforms. So here you are, standing at the edge of everything you've ever wanted, which looks suspiciously like everything you've ever feared. This profound silence, this terrifying freedom. We've journeyed from the sacred pause, that deliberate stillness, to the energetic beacon, that radiant self-completion. But now we arrive at the unspoken truth, the secret that lives in the marrow of this entire journey. This was never about getting them back. I know. It sounds like a spiritual bait and switch, but stay with me. This whole tumultuous, heart-wrenching, awe-inspiring path, it was a divine ruse, a sacred setup of the highest order. The universe, in its infinite and sometimes mischievous wisdom, used the most powerful lure it could find, the promise of a perfect love, to trick you into finding the one thing you'd been searching for all along. Your own untamed, unshakable, and utterly magnificent self. The twin flame was never the prize at the end of the race. They were the starting pistol, the shock to your system that jolted you awake from a lifetime of slumber. They were the mirror so clear, so brutal, so breathtakingly honest, that you had no choice but to finally look at your own reflection, not to see what was missing, but to witness what was already and had always been magnificently there. Think of it like this. You've been straining to hear a distant, beautiful melody your whole life, always on the horizon, always just out of reach. This connection placed a set of headphones directly over your soul and played the symphony in its entirety inside you. And now you're being asked to take the headphones off and go out into the world, not to find the external speakers, but to learn how to hum the tune yourself, to become the music. Because once you are the source of the song, you will never again be lonely for its sound. The longing for them, that exquisite ache, was simply your soul's homing device, calibrated to guide you back to the core of your own being. It was the compass needle, not the destination. And the moment you truly, deeply, unceremoniously settle into the realization that you are the destination, the love, the home, the sanctuary, is the moment the entire cosmic game shifts. The seeking energy which creates lack dissolves. What remains is a profound state of being that is so whole, so content, so inherently peaceful, that it becomes a gravitational force all its own. This is the great paradox they don't tell you about in the spiritual brochures. Union blossoms not from the tension of desire, but from the relaxation into fulfillment. It's not about pulling them into your orbit. It's about your orbit becoming so stable, so vibrant, so life-affirming that their return becomes a natural, effortless consequence of your own cosmic alignment. You stop being a question begging for an answer. and become the statement that renders the question obsolete. So, do you just give up? Absolutely not. You ascend. You trade the hunger for a specific outcome for the feast of a present moment, so rich and textured that it needs no addition to be considered complete. You stop waiting for a person to complete your picture and you start celebrating the masterpiece you already are. And in that space of joyous, unburdened self-possession, a miracle occurs. Every conversation with life becomes a reunion. Every sunrise feels like a welcome, and the love you once sought from a single source becomes the very air you breathe. And the most beautiful part of all? When you finally live from this truth, you'll look one day and find that the world around you, including the one you've been waiting for, has quietly, inevitably rearranged itself to reflect the wholeness you've cultivated within. And that, perhaps, is the real journey that's just beginning.